Marco. Welcome to another episode of Project 90. My name is Antonio, and I'm here with my man, my hermano, Marco Antonio Munoz. Marco, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, baby. Let's get this show on the road.
Get this show on the road. We just finished up the first semi-final, France versus Spain. And I'm going to be completely honest, man. I am a little surprised. Maybe not so much that Spain was able to win, because I believe that it was possible, but more so surprised at sort of the lack of intensity, the lack of danger coming from the French side. It just didn't seem like today the same France team that we've been seeing showed up against Spain. What did you think about that?
Yeah, bro. I feel like everyone was turned off. I mean, typically these games, right? They're a little close, they're a little tight, a little bit back and forth, but nothing too crazy. But I just think Spain, they just locked them all down.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it started pretty early, right? In the 20th minute, which Digne, I'm kind of shocked that Digne started this game for France, to be honest, knowing that he was going to be up against Lamine. I thought they'd maybe throw in someone a little more youthful, like a Teo Hernandez, someone like that. But nonetheless, 20th minute, cross comes in, and Digne kind of tries to get it under control, kind of bounces kind of weird, uses his head, and then just swings for glory. And who's there anticipating that was Lamine Yamal. Got straight, a kick straight to the midsection, to the leg, went down, got a penalty. Oyarzabal finished 1-0. What did you think about maybe the starting lineup, Digne being in there for France, and just that penalty, that clearance? That was kind of wild, if you ask me, from him.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. With Digne being playing on that side. I don't know. Maybe the champs just wanted to hold that line in the back, but clearly it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And for Digne, I also think that's a little tough luck, right? He didn't see Lamine coming. It was one of those
No.
things where he was anticipating hitting the ball, and then Lamine, right? He's quick. He got in
Yeah.
the way, and he got hit. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Kind of expected that after that first PK. I mean, France really couldn't react after that one.
No, and it was a good PK, it was a good goal. I thought in the first, 20, 30 minutes of the game, or specifically maybe the first 20 minutes before the PK, it was kind of both teams trying to find their rhythm, trying to settle into the game. I felt like Rabio started pretty well. He's intercepting a lot of passes. I thought he was starting to hold it down for the in the middle there for France. I was surprised though seeing Tchouameni start for France, considering he had not been playing. He just came back and became available. I was expecting to see Kone in there. He had been playing the previous game, so he did come on later in the game, but yeah, I think there were some questionable maybe starts there for France, Digne and Tchouameni in particular. I did think that in the middle there for Spain, they had Rodri, obviously. And, during this game, we had two of the previous Ballon d'Or winners. We had Dembele and Rodri on the field. And for Spain, I thought Rodri had just a massive game, solid game there in the middle. But yeah, man, seeing Tchouameni, seeing the center mids from France, the whole team today just didn't feel like the energy was high, the team cohesion was there, the chemistry was there. They weren't really firing on all cylinders. And leading into the 30th minute right here was, I think, a big component of what led to the second goal was Lacroix was in there. He got subbed on for Saliba because he went down in the 30th minute.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
sure what the injury was, but how do you think that impacted France going forward? Do you think that sort of exposed the back line? A little bit about Lacroix, who went on. He had only played 90 minutes in this tournament so far, and it was only his fifth appearance for France. For a big game in the semifinal, you think they'd go
And
maybe with
experience.
a little more experience, Konate or someone like that. So what did you think about that substitute and that back line after that?
Definitely Konate. But
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think if Rabiot didn't get that yellow card, maybe things were a little bit different. I mean,
Yes.
Spain potentially could have still won, right? But you're taking out a guy that's pretty solid, right? Yeah, he had like a mistake earlier on with that foul, but that happens, especially when you're going for a tackle, going for a ball, and when you're fighting for these plays. But yeah, maybe if you wouldn't have had that yellow card and Deschamps maybe being too cautious and took him out too early versus later on in the second half. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that attributed to that. But going back to you were saying, like Spain having some solid players, Rodri. I actually thought Olmo was pretty solid for the amount of time that he was there. He
Yep.
continues to be solid, and Cucurella was solid, bro.
Yes, he was.
Cucurella was all over the place. Potentially, could have been one of Mbappe's goals, right? But Cucurella
Yeah.
came just in time to send it to the corner kick. So I thought he was pretty solid. But ultimately, oh no, France just couldn't get anything going. Dembele couldn't get anything going. Barcola, very,
Mhm.
very quiet.
Yeah.
Which I was actually surprised that Dua didn't start this game.
Mhm.
I thought the champs was gonna go all in,
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, and Deschamps seems to be he took a lot of risks today, I think, coming from the previous games, Doué's been starting, Kone's been starting, and he kinda made some big, I think, changes to the team that, yeah, maybe they're like for like substitutes in certain ways, but I think he should have stuck with Doué, Kone, and these players, I think, just because they've been playing and it's been working for them. So, it was a bit of a shock there, I think, for France. And then another shout out though for Spain. I forgot to mention this last episode when we were talking about the Spain Belgium game was their right back Pedro Porro, right?
Mhm.
Solid game against Belgium. Solid game thr playing throughout the tournament. To be completely honest, I don't think he's too flashy of a player, but he's really getting the job done over there on the same side as Yamal. And today, obviously, he got a goal, right? Playing it in, like you said earlier, Danny Olmo, holding the ball up, kind of doing a 1-2. But that's where that substitute for France, I think, hurt them because that was Lacroix. And it seemed like as soon as Porro played that ball to Olmo and made that run into the box, nobody tracked him. Nobody followed him. And, it seemed like they were, as the English would say, sixes and sevens, right? They were a little all over the place. And he got in there, scored the second goal. And yeah, man, France, though, they plenty of chances, plenty of shots, nothing, though, of serious, threat, in my
Well, in the first
opinion.
half, there was no shots on target
Right.
from France side.
Yeah.
So I just think they couldn't get out of their way, man. They're making a lot of small mistakes. They're losing
Hmm.
the ball a lot. And then I mean, look at Magnan, dude. Magnan, when we were talking about this World Cup not having elite goalkeepers, that would have been an elite mistake on his
Yeah.
end.
Hmm.
And would have been 2-0 earlier on. But yeah, man, they just couldn't get out of their way. And ultimately, I was thinking earlier, we used to talk about the old Spain, right? Tiki Taka, right?
Yeah.
All from the base coming from Barcelona with Pep Guardiola. These guys just making Spain and football look beautiful.
Hmm.
Now it's not tiki taka. Now it's like structured. It's not fancy.
Hmm.
At times it's boring. But every guy in that system right now in Spain has a job and they're getting it done.
Yeah, they definitely are, and we've definitely seen Spain change over the years. That 2010 team that they had, 2008, 2012, they were definitely just something special, right? They were Tiki Taka, the possession, they were just the masters of it. And Spain now, comparing them to France this tournament, I would say France has been far more solid, decisive, convincing throughout the tournament, more so than Spain. But yet Spain just has this way of just getting these wins, grinding out the victories. And, I saw a stat about this actually. Unai Simon, big game again today, had some pretty big saves, some good moments. He kind of
Yeah.
sketches me out sometimes. He comes out quite often, kind of throws me off sometimes when the camera moves and you see this guy's outside of the box already. And I don't know, it's just, it's kind of makes me nervous, but he's the first goalkeeper, which I did not know this, to have 6 shutout games in a men's World Cup tournament. So, I
Wow.
mean, he's had 6 games, no goals scored against him. Obviously, there's more games now in this World Cup, right? There's 7, 8 games. So, but to hear that and to see how Spain, you really look back on who they've played and they have not conceded. And, is that to me that points to Kubarsi, who's another youngster, 19 years old. He's played every single minute for Spain this tournament, which is huge. And then ironically, Laporte, who was French, right? He was a French youth international, switched over to Spain. I think
Yep.
they held it down today and they've been holding it down. And in the final now, whether they play Argentina or England, they're gonna have to have a massive game, obviously. But coming up against the attack that France has, they kind of prove that they can pretty much handle any attack, going forward.
Yeah, and good point because when the game was almost over, I was looking at that, and I was looking at Laporte in particular. I'm like, this guy went from Spain. You thought he took the bag, went to the Saudi league, and we were just gonna forget about him. But he comes back to Spain, and he's a very important figure on the back line. But kudos to Rodri. Also, I know we keep talking about him, but that guy, he holds it down for them.
Mhm.
Uh, Great communicator, and ultimately, everyone feels like they're never out of place.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, and another stat here for Spain, the longest unbeaten streak for an international team, ironically, crazy enough, was Italy, right? 2018 to 21, they had 37 games unbeaten, yet we couldn't
Mhm.
qualify before or after, which is incredible, but Spain right now is sitting at 36 games.
Same.
The final would be 37, right? So not only are they going unbeaten, keep getting clean sheets, right? They're literally breaking records here at 36 games unbeaten, which is wild. Luis de la Fuente is unbeaten as the head coach in competitive games. They obviously just won the Euros coming into this tournament now, looking like, depending Argentina, England, we'll see how they play tomorrow, but they have a strong chance, I think, at winning this tournament at this point, right after today. What do you think about that?
And another thing I was looking at is they don't have any quote unquote superstars outside of Lamine Yamal,
Yeah,
right? All these guys. I mean, Rodri plays for Man City. I mean, Athletic Bilbao. We got to give that team a lot of credit for what they've been
yeah,
doing the past couple of years. I mean, they got quite a few guys on the squad. But yeah, man, no quote unquote superstars. France was full of superstars. We kept
mhm.
talking about France's midfield, how they're all solid, they're all great players. But look what happened today, man. It's
Yeah,
this
cool.
this is not an individual game. This is a cohesive game where there's going to be games like this, and everybody needs to come together.
Yeah, France, they seem to fall apart. I see Cherokee come on, and he's always throwing his hands up every pass that goes wrong, this and that, and just I got a vibe from him, just terrible attitude. I don't know if it's true. Obviously, I'm not in the locker room, but the attitude he brought to the game and seeing Olise having the game he had today, and he had a wild tackle on Rodri with his like studs
Yeah,
up, which I
yeah,
mean wasn't
yeah.
even. I'm not even sure if he got a yellow card for that, to be completely honest. So that kind of falls under the category we've been talking about of just the refereeing and the VAR and all these things. Like who knows what they're even looking at anymore? But it's crazy to see such a strong attack, such a strong team with so much promise roll into the semifinal and kind of, in a sense, I don't want to say get completely dominated, but
They were dominating.
they were dominated. You know what I mean? And yeah, one thing I'm really shocked at is just how their the attack for France was never able to just get into this
Yeah,
game, it felt like.
yeah.
So I guess that's props to Spain. But again, you got Mbappe, you got Doué coming on, Dembele, Olise, the list goes on, and it didn't work today.
And I understand a lot of these powerhouse nations, right, don't are going to have any adversity early on in the rounds or in the group stages. But I think that's the importance of it, of
Mhm.
seeing that adversity early on. So not only does the manager know how to react to it, but the players as well. In France, bro, they had none of that in the early stages, the group stage, the knockout rounds. They were just cruising through everything. So the first time they see adversity, they
Yeah.
folded.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a shock to their system, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you could tell today that it's like they were on the back foot. They were just chasing the game the whole time, trying to put something together, kind of getting desperate for chances. And yeah, man, it was
Hey,
shocking.
and maybe I'm just nitpicking here, but like when I see a captain, I see the captain after like a loss like that going to his team and lifting them up, right? Hey, don't cry, hold your head up high. I didn't see any of that with Mbappe.
No.
And we've talked about this before, how there's divided locker room, right? Not everyone's on Mbappe's side, right? There's supposedly beef with him and Kante, but I would have liked to see that on his end.
Hmm.
Encouraging his guys, like they made it far. They were previous champions. Tough pill to swallow, but hey, we still showed up. We made it to semifinal. I didn't see any of that. Maybe it
Hmm.
happened when the telecast stopped recording, but I just wanted to see a little bit more of that. But it seemed like he just went towards the bench, and just standing, looking into the abyss.
Very upset, it looked like. And even during the game, you would think once the second goal goes in for Spain that they would, try to encourage their team, try to, get them going, start clapping their hands, raising their hands, getting the fans involved, really putting some energy and some effort, because this is the semifinal of the World Cup. You know what I mean? This isn't just like another game for France or, this is a big, big game. You're in this moment. It's win or go home. And to me, the team that wanted it more today ultimately won the game. It's the
Mhm.
bottom line, I think. France, they can hang their head high, I guess. I mean, to me, their expectation, though, was nothing short of winning it. So, I mean, you can say it's a disappointment and a failure, but yeah, man, I don't think they wanted it bad enough today, to be completely honest. I think Spain just outclassed them.
Well, shout out to Spain. And then tomorrow, what do we got? England versus
Tomorrow,
Argentina.
big one. Argentina, England. This is a game about, I think it's going to come down to who wants it more, right? Uh, England, they do have a lot of good players. We were talking about depth the other day coming off the bench. They have Ollie Watkins, they have Marcus Rashford, a lot of speed, a lot of quality players in defense. We saw Spence have a great performance last game. Argentina, though, undeniable when it comes to those comebacks or those late winners and really grinding it out to the very end. England, Jude Bellingham. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? Harry Kane, Argentina. They got Lautaro, Messi, of course, one of the goats. Julian Alvarez kind of getting that banger last game. So I think this is going to be a massive, massive game. I think for me personally, I'm expecting a little bit more of an exciting game
Yep,
tomorrow in
same.
that semifinal. Maybe some more goals being scored on both sides, and but yeah, man, I think England's going to come through on this one. I think we're going to see an England versus Spain final. But hey, man, I guess we'll see.
Well, this is
Not too.
lining up. This is lining up to be the perfect opportunity and tournament for England to bring it home
Mhm.
for the first time in a long time.
A long time. It'd be cool to see Spain, England in the final. Both have one World Cup, obviously. So I think that would kind of end or somewhat end the talks of everything being sort of rigged for Argentina if they go out tomorrow. I think it'd be nice, though, to see two different teams in the final, to be completely honest. And obviously, Spain, 2010, it wasn't that long ago, but for England, it's been a very long time. So we'll see what happens, my friend. But we'll be back tomorrow with that recap. If you're new to the show, project90soccer.com. Find us on Spotify, Apple, Instagram, TikTok. Like, subscribe, comment. Until tomorrow, this has been another episode of Project 90.
Give us a follow.
Give us a follow, like, subscribe, comment. Deuce.